it is time for a real talk. All right, as we approach closer to baby Bali arriving, I think it is time to have a real conversation on Shadelife Cafe just about what's going on. So, what's interesting is that when we had Bodhi was born, I had a 9 to 5 job, and with the 9 to 5 job, there was like a sense of security that was there. And then 3 months in, I got laid off that job. And I was at that job for like 10, 11, over a decade, let's just say that. And I was there for a while. So when everything kind of fell through, my whole idea of what to expect in life and what I should do, I was very at a I don't know place in my life. And I just really had to walk in faith, I guess, is what you would call it, or trust something that is outside of myself. And then we decided to not go corporate for a while and just build a business, and we were doing good. And for the last 4 or 5 years, life's been pretty good. We went on a nice little adventure, and now we got baby Bali coming. And with baby Bali coming, also comes that same reality of the stability, also the consistency of finances and income, but also energy. Like, what energy do you have while you're worrying about money, all the while worrying about your family, and then also all worrying about your creative career? And the reason that I want to have this discussion is because I think it's important that whatever decision that you do make, you also recognize that because you're a creative individual, you're not just coming to this as trying to be just a responsible adult. You're also coming from you're creative. And to be creative, you're an artist, you're a thinker, you're an innovator. You just have a different type of brain, so your skill sets are going to be different than the normal individual. And not that the normal individual is bad. This is just different, and this is just very honest. For me, I've been working in my field of video since I was a teenager, from high school, after high school, into college, after college, and then, to recent times, I've been working in this field. So really, the creative field of creative media is just all that I know. So even whether I'm working corporate or not working corporate, there's like just a reality that I really only have the experience of working here. Now in 2020, when pandemic came, 2021 for me, I felt that there was a huge shift in not just the industry of, creative people that hold cameras, but also a huge shift and change in me as a person. So I decided to, just casually take on acting. My acting anniversary is coming up in 2 weeks. Now, this is where things get interesting for me, and I'm just going to use myself as the example so that I can kind of express, I guess, to my kids, but also to anyone else that needs to hear it, just a dilemma that you're going to have. I don't have an answer. I just know that this is how I have to handle it. With the coming of baby Bali, I decided that I was going to look for some consistent work. Our business is moving, but also there's the reality of, will that stay afloat? Will you be able to handle that all the while, raising a family? And the question is, could you? Yeah. The other question is, do you want to? The other question is, do you have the energy levels? Do you have the financial? There's just a lot to ask. So I decided that I was going to look for extra work. And in looking for extra work, it led me into some interesting positions. I just got a job offer. It's actually a really cool job offer. And if I'm honest, I'm a bit undecided on whether I should take it. But I'm also undecided, I guess, if I don't take it, what does that mean? Now, I'm also at this place where, with my business, Shadelife Company, I'm not sure if I want to run it anymore. Now, let me just clarify that. It's not that I don't want to run and have my own business. The way that my business is currently set up and operating, I've realized that in recent times, the industry and the culture, along with the needs and the demands of your clients, have changed. If I built a content creation company, and one of the issues with that is that content creation is tied to social media, and social media has changed. And as beautiful as it is to have a business revolving around the madness of that monster, social media, the other reality is that social media changes very fast. Its algorithms, also the type of content that it's trying to pump out, produce, and what becomes trend. Your job as a content creator is different from somebody that is involved in creative direction, or a consultant that is just really giving ideas and giving advice. While I, you know, do that and can do that, I don't want to. I really enjoy the creative process. I enjoy production. I enjoy working as a team. I just enjoy being able to create something, because that's who I am, and I just have to be honest with that. All the while, I've come to this realization that because I'm a dancer, I love performance. And that's where my life gets really messy, I guess. So I have this offer on the table, and I won't tell you what I'm going to do or not. I'll just do it and see what happens. But all the while with that offer, I also, within less than 2 years of acting, I booked 2 feature films. Who's to say where they go, what they do? The way I look at it, though, is I'm really proud of myself, and I'm saying it because that's not easy. And also, I told myself I didn't want to get stuck in commercial work, and I wanted to do movies. So to be able to say that I've booked roles for films, it means a lot, because it's what I went for, and I'm doing it in a shorter period of time than most. So, man, I really love the craft, and in loving the craft, it's mainly because of what it brings to my life. It's this love of film, and it's also the love of imagery, like photography, the love of production, and mixed with the love of performance. Also, in my previous life of being a pastor, I also get to bring that with me, which is my joy and passion to speaking to the world. I know how I feel when I see a role or a character that's on screen, and I just resonate with it and brings me to tears. I want to be able to do the same in my craft, because I know how important I know how important the art of storytelling is to humanity. And although we kind of write it off like, oh, who needs that? I think it's one of the most basic, very human nature characteristics that we have. I think it's a profession that has existed for thousands and thousands of years. Maybe it wasn't a profession at one time, but it is something that we do. We are natural storytellers. We thrive off of stories. It's where we sit at the table to have dinner and tell each other the story of the day, to reading the newspaper, reading books. This is just various mediums of what it means to be a storyteller. And for me, as a storyteller, it is with a camera, but it's also with a microphone, and it's also with performance. So being involved in that means the world to me. But I'm also a father and a husband. So I have to also make sure that my role in what I chose to be, because essentially I want to be a father. One of the things about dance for me that I didn't like, and I don't know, if I'm just going to be honest, dance culture doesn't really support parents. And that's one of the big things issues, I guess you could say that I had. I've always wanted to be a father. Maybe that's my life circumstances and situation, but I've always wanted to. It's a dream of mine, and being a father, I really love it. I enjoy it. It's got its ups and its downs, but man, it's the greatest joy of my life. And then you rub up against some other passions that you enjoy that really do mean a lot to you. Like for me, acting and filmmaking and photography, and you never want to put those things on hold. But I'll tell you this is where my mind is at. I had somebody tell me this a long time ago. As long as your eye is always on the prize, keep your eye on the prize. When I was, my previous job, 9-to-5 job, I didn't really have a direction. I just was working because this is all that I knew. How to make money. I wanted to dance, but I also simultaneously wasn't really trying to make dance my career financially. Just wasn't. I wasn't performing professionally. DJing, again, I was getting paid, but not anything that can really hold down the lifestyle that I wanted to live. When I was doing House of Drums and community work, I loved that season of my life, but I also recognized that season of my life, I wasn't trying to make money and I wasn't trying to provide, and now I am a father, and that is one of my responsibilities. So the way my mind is faced with all of this, acting, this new position in life, that I'm actually really looking forward to it, because it's a really cool opportunity, and when it goes down, I'll tell you all about it. And then I'm wrapping this week with this film that I'm doing on the role that I'm a part of as a supporting role, and then I also have another one coming up, and that one I'm a lead role, and that's, God, I can't even tell you how surreal this is. I mean, I know I'm all over the place, but when you're acting, you're just taking classes, you're auditioning, and sometimes you don't know if what you're doing makes sense, if it's good. You don't know if you're just doing this because you're dreaming. But I know that there's this feeling that I get when I'm acting. It feels like I'm dancing. There's this moment when you're dancing and you just in a moment completely, and you completely let go, and you just trust your training, and you do some crazy shit, and then you get out of the circle and somebody goes, "What was that?" And you go, "I don't know." And you realize that it was you, but it wasn't you. You were completely caught up in a moment, and that is where I feel most alive, but also that's where I do my best work. Ever since I've been involved in dance and any art medium, that's where I do my best work, is when I throw myself in there and I trust my training and my practice, and I'm just fully alive in the moment. Where my mind is at with everything is that no matter what position of life that I have, it's about progress. It's not about perfection, and it's really not about being in any position. It's just about progress. If whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that I'm doing, brings you a sense that you are improving as a professional, as an individual personally, that's all that matters, honestly. The industry is going to change. It's going to ebb. It's going to flow. It's going to have ups and it's going to have downs. All you have to worry about is progress. So in acting for me, right now, I don't want to put too much financial pressure on the craft. I just want to enjoy the craft. And enjoying the craft for me is what I feel like is getting me these opportunities. I'm investing time into it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm not trying to do it for fame, and I'm not trying to do it because I want to make a whole lot of money. I mean, the idea, don't get me wrong, sounds amazing. But I know even to get there, you got to be good. You got to enjoy it. And I'm a craftsperson, so I respect a craft. I want to learn it. I want to own it. I want to take it on, and I want to innovate it and change it and be as original as possible. But to do that, I also want to honor the craft and also my predecessors that have come before me, that have paved this way, and to do the work. Now, for video, I don't necessarily want to run the business that I've been running in the last couple of years. I do want to run my own business, but I think it's a good time for a transition for Shadelife to change and what it's been doing and how it's been operating, and I hope that I can make that adjustment in the next couple months. But I think that having this new position in my life will also help me do that, but it will also change and complicate things as well in other areas of my life. And the only thing that I can really focus on right now is progress. It's just knowing that whatever I do, it's gonna progress me forward, even if it doesn't fully make sense in the moment. Because I'll tell you, these opportunities that have presented itself, even this new stage of life, Bali, I can't say I planned any of this stuff. And they're some of the greatest things that have ever happened to me. So, just like dance, I'm gonna do this with my life. As much as I am worried about the future, as much as I'm worried about my career, as much as I'm worried about me personally and my mental health, and can I pull this off, and am I gonna be a good father, I'm just gonna live in the moment and work hard. I'm gonna train. But when these moments come, I'm gonna let go, and I'm gonna trust my training. I'm gonna trust my work ethic. And within trusting my work ethic and my training, I'm just gonna live in the moment and truly be alive and let that to progress me forward. And that brings me peace. The more that I think about how the future will go, the more anxiety I get, because I'm not in control of that. None of us are. As much as I would like to think it, truthfully, I'm not. I can control my discipline. I can control what I decide to do every day, but I don't control the opportunities. I don't control when things present themselves. So my hope is that I'm just in preparation mode for whatever opportunity comes this way, that I am prepared. I mean, even this new role that I'm going to take on, man, none of that will be possible if I didn't take the time to ground myself in my work in the last 4 years and build a portfolio that I'm proud of. And yeah, man, I'm proud of it. I really am. Because the previous work that I've done before that in years was just work. But it wasn't work that I could say that I'm proud that I've accomplished, that I've created. So it feels good to be recognized, and it feels good that in this direction that my work will be used. So, in conclusion, whatever you're going to do, whatever you decide, whatever you're struggling with and you don't know, just don't worry about it, because you're not in control of timing. But do the work. And when those opportunities come, you just trust your training. You know, you don't dance to lose. You don't dance to get into shape. You get into shape so that you can dance. It's the way I look at it. And sometimes that happens simultaneously, but for the most part, you just should always be prepared. And there may be a season where you step away, and there may be a season where you're at the forefront of your game, and there may be a season where it just doesn't really make sense. Either way, do it because you love the craft. Focus on your relationship with the craft and building a stronger relationship, and just focus on progress. Every day, just try to get better. And if you can do that, it's just one step after the other. And who knows what can come your way. Because I'll tell you this, everything I have right now, which is still not a whole lot, but it's enough for me and my family. I didn't think I've ever had this. So, trust your training, let go, be fully alive in the moment, and progress over any position and progress over perfection.